In Isaiah chapter 30, beginning in verse 31, it says, "The Assyrians will be terror-stricken at the voice of the Lord." Now, in this translation, you need to understand the word Assyrians, when you translate it in the Hebrew, actually means an enemy that exalts itself above all other power. So you remember where Paul talks in 2 Corinthians 10 about taking every thought captive and everything that exalts itself above the knowledge of God. So you want to think about that when you think about this concept of the enemies from a perspective of the Assyrians. So it's a metaphor. The Assyrians will be terror-stricken. Everybody say terror-stricken. At what? At the voice of the Lord. Say, at the voice of the Lord. Now watch, this is what he goes on to say, what the voice of the Lord is. "And every stroke of the appointed staff that the Lord lays on them will be to the sound of tambourines and lyres." So in other words, percussion and strings will be the instrument of the voice of the Lord to terrify the powers of darkness. Let me read it again. "And every stroke of the appointed staff." So Zorro took two staffs in his hand. And he sat at a glorified set of tambourines, because they didn't have them back in ancient Israel. Now we've kind of upgraded, retrofitted, remixed. "Battling with brandished arm, he will fight with them." And it's all tied to percussion. "For a burning place has long been prepared. Indeed, for the king it is made ready. Its fire made deep and wide, and with fire and wood in abundance. The breath of the Lord, like a stream of sulfur, kindles it." God is lighting a fire. Every time you sit at the drums, God is kindling a fire against principalities and powers. And the more you give yourself to what God has called you to do, the more you are going to see the manifestation of God destroying strongholds, to the point where you will do that in settings where demonic strongholds will be cast out of those who are oppressed and those who are in need of deliverance. It is a breaker's anointing. I know we enjoy good music. We enjoy excellence. You know, David played excellently on a harp of 10 strings. There was an excellence about it. So we certainly appreciate excellence. But excellence without the anointing we can all get entertained. But what we want is the manifestation and the demonstration of the kingdom and its power, because the kingdom doesn't consist merely in words. The kingdom consists in power. And one of the things that I think we desperately need in this generation is what you are contending for right here, and that is a demonstration of the Spirit and power. It is not enough to simply gather together and say a few nice little words and go out and say we had church. What's essential is that we need to see the church far more as a place of equipping for war. That we are called to enter into the streets of battle, and that the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but they're divinely powerful for the pulling down of strongholds. And the challenge we face is that until you yourself have strongholds released from you, you can't set anyone else free. You cannot give what you do not have.